hit record. So here we go. Here we go.
Huh. Looks like my settings are backwards here. Well, I usually got it. I must have done something with my settings.
Interesting.
I'll have to go check on that because, you know, that's in the wrong place. These are in the wrong place. My shirt's backwards.
No, but for us, it's reading forward. So how did you do that? It says silver. We can read it. But
Yeah.
normally, what the viewer sees is backwards.
And this looks to you like it's normal?
Yeah,
it's
you can read
normal.
it. So whatever you've done, you flipped it so that, like, you know, if you were going to show something that had writing on it, we would be able to read it. So that now the trick is to figure it out, because I don't know how to do that.
You're backwards today, but we'll still listen to you.
Yeah. It's funny that I'm looking at it and it's reversed.
No, it's
But
perfect.
we see it as
Right, straight.
straight and normal. You'll have to check out the video.
Now Fred's totally confused.
It's not like that's really new.
So when
Oh,
we're coming in
Fred.
from a remote location, so I apologize for the glare. We weren't able to set up any better than this.
I was just going to say, you guys are not where you normally are.
Right.
Well, listen, first I'm going to share with you a little bit of news. Watch this.
You have a new chair?
No, I got my that pad that plastic pad you always set your desk chair on, and because my room's got carpet, right?
Okay.
It's all cracked up, and I mean it's like the third one that I've had to replace in the last in Zija. So I mean they last a few years, but there's always a year before I replace them that they're just crappy, right? And I finally broke down. I said, okay, I've been watching that Vitroza Vitroza commercial, the glass thing, that you set your chair on. Got one of those puppies. It is slick. I love it.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. And so anyway, so that's my new thing. I put it on. Showed up today, and I got it set up, and figured I'd do it right now because if not, it's a project that'll be going on for a week. So what I thought I'd do today is, kind of rather than necessarily bringing something to the group, kind of do what our orientation really should be, or at least a component of it. And so I'm glad that several of you showed up. I want to just pose a question to you. Okay. What happened great last week for you and why? Who's first? What happened great last week and why?
Well, I'll go first. I think it was really great. I connected with a cousin of mine that I hadn't talked with forever, and just been kind of out on the World Wide Web and trying to do everything I can to. And actually, my nephew was in town a couple of weeks ago, and he told me that everybody knows what you're doing. I said, oh, well, that's good to hear. So anyway, she calls me, and we're talking, found out that she named her firstborn after me.
Wow.
Guy's doing really well.
What an
He's
honor.
some chief running the trains out of Maryland, doing something. And so we talked, and what was really nice about it, after the conversation, I realized that what we've been talking about all along is to call people up, talk with them, and a genuine conversation. And that's exactly what we had, was a genuine conversation. And then for some reason, in listening, and she said something about the fact that, and she's retired she's an engineer, she's retired, and she's living with chronic pain. And she, on a monthly basis, orders product. Well, there was my end. So I told her about what I'm doing, and told her that I would send her some information, and she said, absolutely, send it. If I'm going to get the product, I might as well buy it from you. And I told her how effective our product line is. And as a matter of fact, I called her earlier today and asked her to get back with me today. So I'm hoping to talk with her and that was great.
That is awesome. And so that was something that was great. Got a potential customer, reconnected with a family member you haven't seen for a long time. Tell me why that happened.
I think it happened because of my getting back to what we talked about last week. This thing about mindset is something that I have really started to look into heavily. You know, I think Debbie mentioned it a little bit this morning on the leaders call, how important it is to maintain your thought pattern and what you're thinking about and what you're doing, and how that drives you on a daily basis. And I actually posted on my site a couple of days ago that if your goals should be big enough, I think a couple of people may have responded to it, should make you leap out of bed in the mornings. So I think what made things happen or starting the change in me and my organization and what I'm trying to accomplish is my mindset for the most part.
Good, good, good. You get two, count them, 2 gold stars today. Okay? Because you're right on the money. All right? The activities are always going to create results. It's the lack of activity that causes you not to have results. Okay? Now, unfortunately, what happens is we call one person, they're not interested. We call another person, they're not interested. We don't call anybody else because the first 2 weren't interested. But if we keep calling, eventually somebody is going to be interested. It's, you know, there aren't, you know, what's Jim Rohn say? There's only about 9 or 10 really mean, nasty, despicable people in the world. But they move around a lot, right? They move around a lot. They seem to be everywhere. But it's only about 9 or 10 of them, right? That's what Jim Rohn said. So what happens is, and this is so important, especially if we're thinking about our brand new person, it's so important that we keep on doing the activity, even though the results may not be coming in, until such time as we get a result. For instance, in Ernest's case, you know, he had an old family member to say, well, I might as well get product from you. And so the key here is that once you do that, once you get in a success experience, you need to immediately go do it again, because it's all up here. Some of you have been around long enough for me to tell you, you know, if you talk to enough people, you'll eventually get a yes, no matter how bad you are. You know, the example I've always given, you know, if you stood out, you know, at the exit to you know, Walmart, all the people coming out, right? If you stood there and said, excuse me, you wouldn't want to buy this, would you? Now, tell me that if that's not the worst sales presentation in the world. You wouldn't want to buy this, would you? Now,
Yes, I would.
is somebody going to you know, is that person going to see much of a success? If they did it long enough, eventually I would be walking out the door of Walmart, and that person would say, you wouldn't want to buy this, would you? And in my mind, I'd be going, this poor guy's got babies at home, they're going to starve, right? I've bought a lot of things in my lifetime, had nothing to do with wanting to buy the thing, but to help the person out with selling. And I'd probably be the one to say, I don't know, I might, what is it? So you can't, no matter how bad you are, you can make up for it in numbers. But when you make that sale, that's the time to go do it again, because you're feeling positive about what you're doing. Okay. And I want to point out that this relative that you reached out to, Ernest, that's right on the heels of reaching out to an old grammar school friend, right? Was it Al's the guy's name? Is it Al?
Al, yes.
Yeah. And this is a fellow that now, I don't know how long it had been since you talked with him, but you guys go back to grammar school, right?
Right.
And so, you know, again, success breeds success. It's all about mindset, every single bit of it. So kudos, very good. Just out of curiosity, what products are she buying right now for her pain?
CBD.
Okay.
And I know CBD was one of them. That was the one thing that stood out in my mind. And the other stuff, I'm not sure, because she was telling me about she was getting the CBD that she rubs on, and of course, well, of course, as you all know, that's a big buzzword in the marketplace today. And the second call that I made, another call that I made today, then that I've been trying to connect with this woman, and she was telling me that she uses a rub-on CBD. So, of course, she's already purchased her month's supply. So she told me to get in contact with her, or we'll talk at the end of the month, and she'll place an order with me going into April. So,
and what kind of products are you recommending for your cousin?
you know, that's an interesting question. I had thought about that. I think what I'm going to recommend for her is the weight management value pack. I think that, and the reason for that is because she gets the, is it ion? I forget is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. And so obviously the value pack, you get several other products. So you get the good bang for your buck. And the nutrients and with the vitamins and the fasting and the whole program. So my objective, or my thought pattern on that, is I'll kill two birds with one stone, if you will. She'll get the nutrients in her body, and I think that'll start to help her with her pain as well.
Why?
I'm fundamentally, I think, based on our story and past, that if you give the body what it needs, the body will correct itself. That she may need something else, but I believe by giving her all of these good nutrition, these nutrients, that best she'll feel better, and then start working on some more obvious products that. But I'm open for any suggestions that would hone in on her chronic pain issue.
Well, first thing occurs to me, and I'm not going to be the one to answer the question. I'm going to ask everybody else to chime in with suggestions for you. But the first thing that occurs to me is her issue in her mind is the chronic pain. We should address where she's at. Okay. Value weight loss pack. First of all, what is the cost of that?
I think
almost $600.
Yes.
For a month's supply.
Yes.
Okay, what's she paying for her CBD oil from some other company?
I haven't gotten all that detailed information.
Bet you it's not $600 for the month.
Probably not.
And the value pack doesn't have anything for pain relief. Right?
Well, again, my mentality on that is the nutrients and the good products that you.
Oh, I agree 100% with you, Ernest.
Yeah. But yeah, no. To answer your question, no.
Anybody got suggestions for Ernest on products to recommend for chronic pain?
I would say CBD right away, simply because she told you that that's what she's taking now, that she's getting benefits from. And I think the nutritional approach and the working with the immune system approach, which we're all familiar with, is something that requires a little bit of education for some people. And I think you would be in a better position to sell that $600 pack, if she can afford it, shortly after she's getting some sort of replacement for what she's already using. And that's something that we already have.
And what about Supermix? I mean,
Of course, that's what I was just thinking. Supermix and CBD, and of course I was thinking CBD, obviously, but again, I'm trying
to lose weight. I mean,
move on. Exactly. And I'm thinking, the last time I saw her, and that was obviously on Facebook someplace on a video that she was sending out, I would say yes to that question. And I'm not sure because I haven't seen her in over 20 years. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it was her or maybe her cousin or sister,
Did
So-
she tell you where she's experiencing her pain?
She did not. She
Okay.
just told me she was living with chronic pain and she was using
Yeah.
CBD. And of course, the CBD was the first thing that came to mind. And now we're talking about it, it makes sense to, don't, shoot for the stars with a package that's almost $600 when I don't understand what she's investing in now, and try to at least pattern that investment for her to experience some results and then move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I would also try to identify, what does she mean? When somebody says experiencing chronic pain, how do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
How do you mean?
Or how
Chronic
does that
pain?
affect?
Tennis elbow? Tennis elbow sounds to me like it'd really be helpful to take, the CBD oil from, now I bought some of the isogenic CBD oil, just because I buy everything. I haven't used it, I haven't even opened it. They right away sent me a little email saying, give us feedback. What do you think about this great product? It looks good in the garage, sitting right up there on the shelf. If it's tennis elbow, then, a topical, application of the CBD oil might be good. If chronic pain is, like fibromyalgia, arthritis, then our CBD oil square or patches would probably be good. And anything related to, chronic pain, particular fibromyalgia, would be served well by Supermix for the anti-inflammatory properties. But, tell me more about that. How do you mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you using now? What's it costing now? See, I want to be able to say, well, what you're currently using, the topical application of the CBD oil, ours is going to be a little bit more expensive. It's going to cost you about 20 or 30 or 40 cents a day more, but you're going to find greater benefits. Use it for 30 days, and I guarantee you're going to love it, and you're going to want to buy ours every single month. And if not, get your money back. See, I'd rather know up front that if ours is less expensive and you're going to save money, and I figure what you might as well do right now is spend an extra $3 a day and get on Supermix. That's
It's
me.
the difference really of, between finding out what their needs are and fulfilling those needs versus just because you're in contact with them and you've got the relationship, figure out what you could sell them.
Exactly.
Who else has got thoughts for Ernest?
The BCAA sports nutrition drink is good for pain and recovery after any kind of traumatic day or workout. That's a good one. And isogenesis is good as well.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask a question about that, Joyce. Robin. BCAA plus, great for muscle building. You're saying good for pain relief and recovery, because there's a different product they have for that.
Mm-hmm. I get along better with the BCAA myself. I'm pretty much of a lightweight with any chemical type stuff, and that's the one that I've had the most success with so far.
Have you tried using their recovery product?
Not for a long term, just for once or twice.
Okay, and you didn't seem to see much benefit from that?
Not as much as the other one.
Okay, all right. Just curious. I got the recover product too, and I never remember to eat it because this is the BCAA. It's that, once I get to the gym, I finish up the pre-workout. I should know these names. I'm sorry. Okay, ain't gonna come. And then the next thing is the BCAA. And when I get home, I'm supposed to drink the recover. I think I've done it once because that's on into dinner. So it has. I just curious. Who else has got some thoughts? Thank you, Robin. Yes, Joyce.
I would kind of go back to what Fred was saying about the Intune squares, the CBD squares, and find out where her chronic pain is, what she really means about it, and then suggest those. And like he said, let her try them. There's 30-day money back guarantee. And then if she starts to see results and say, there's another option now where we can maybe help amplify what you're already doing, and then suggest the super mix with all the anti-inflammatories that are in it to help her body react even better. Because I've heard so much good on combining those two together to help amplify everything, to build up the and to knock down the inflammation in your body. And then with the Intune squares, I've heard Pat and Dr. Ben talk numerous times on different things about that. So that would be my suggestion if she is talking about pain, is looking first at the squares and then adding in the super mix later on once she starts to see results and going, now we can kind of help add to this product. Kind of start them slow, get them on one thing, and then build from there. But that's just my suggestions.
No, I love that, and I love the way you phrased it. Now, now that you're seeing some benefits from the Intune CBD square, we might want to talk about amplifying those results with this great botanical, reduce inflammation, improve your nutrition, and at the whole same time, there's nothing wrong with that, with finding a way to bring up issues. If she runs trains, you've been very sedentary. Is your work very sedentary? What do you do for exercise? Mm-hmm. How's that affecting your body? That's the polite way of saying, are you fat? Because we all know if she's got a sedentary lifestyle, if she's got a less than optimized, nutrition plan, she's gaining weight, okay? All those things are going to be improved if she can get on a healthy nutrition plan to lose weight, which again, using Joyce's phraseology, which I really like, now that you're on Super Mix and the Intune Squares, we might be able to amplify everything by improving your nutrition and helping you lose some of those excess pounds you need to get off. You guys are going to hear me using that phrase for a long time. You know that, right?
I like it. Amplify.
Yeah. Amplify the results. Amplify the results. Still got a few more minutes. Who else had something great happen this week and why? Yes, sir. Roger.
I'll jump in quickly. It was a very good week. And I did another Bob Proctor 5-day course. This one was on, paradigms. And really kind of, got my backside kicked a few times on some of the comments he made about, if you want to change, you got to change yourself. You got to change where you're thinking from. And with part of that, I dashed off to teach school on Thursday. And knowing that we're now in 2 weeks of spring break, there were 3 people at the school I wanted to talk to. And I got names, obviously, telephone numbers, and email addresses of all 3.
Yay!
I've been doing renovations madly ever since. But that part is done because on Sunday I finished off the bedroom that my granddaughter wanted to have done so that she could move in and have a bedroom.
Hey, listen, every step you take forward is one more step. And in our last conversation, I remember, I don't remember the specifics of it, but what I remember saying is something like, no matter what, one call during the day, 5 minutes.
Down here, Fred, do something every day.
Do something every day.
Yeah.
And here you got 3 people to talk to, right?
Yeah, so that's the game plan for tomorrow, to get in touch with all of those. And I got 3/4 of a page of notes here of, okay, gosh, we've got to amplify, we've got to ask, we've got to find the results, the problems, the questions, all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to hearing from you next week, Roger. This is exciting. Yeah, and the process is real simple. And Brian commented on this, instead of us trying to figure out what we can sell them, let's figure out what they need.
Yeah, for sure.
We can help them.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the other thing I like what you said about Jim Rohn saying there's only 7 to 10 really nasty people out there. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, by the time we get around to the second person we call, we should be into the good folk.
Absolutely. Exactly right. Yeah, yeah, and I think that particular reference he was talking about 1 in 10, you know, and there's only 9 or 10 really nasty people in the world. They can move around a lot, but you know that's all there is. So you know, 1 in 10, get through 10 no's, and that way the next ones will be good. I'll be all yours. Anybody else got anything they want to add?
I do, but it's too long for 5 minutes, I think. Do you want to, should I start or wait for next
Yeah,
week?
give us the 60-second version.
Okay, I got a 60-second version. The Arnolds are opening up Ohio, whether the governor is or not. We went to a church. We went to a church retreat, and there were 30 of our closest and best friends there. It was awesome. I joined a pickleball league. I needed the exercise, and it was a great way to meet, 30 or 40 more people. And I got a chance to fly to see my brothers that I haven't seen for a long time. And all 5 of my brothers and me and my mom and dad got together. That was really cool. And visited my aunt, and she introduced us to her new boyfriend. She's 80.
Nice.
And
I love that.
so anyway, the Arnolds, like I said, are opening up Ohio. And we just met a lot of people and planted a lot of seeds, had a lot of questions. It's great. And so we're doing follow-up in the meantime.
Excellent, excellent. You know, I'm so pleased to hear that, because honestly, it can get really, really distressing if you're spending a lot of time working with, cold market. Okay. No relationship. And I always say, here's the reality of life. Honestly, most of the people that are your closest friends and family are probably not the people you're looking to build a business with. Okay. For most of us. Okay. Most of us are come from an environment where we were already the most positive, forward-thinking person, entrepreneurial, hardworking, whatever. Okay, than our peers, right? So in this case, there are people that that have gotten to a point in their life where they only surround themselves with equally or more successful people. When you get into that warm market, now you got something happening. But for the masses, the 90%ers, most of us, we're already the people that in our warm market that were the top 5%. Okay, and so the reality is it's a whole lot more fun when you're working with people you've already established a relationship with, and they don't have to be distributors; they can be customers. And I'm telling you, the more I get a handle on this Isogenics program, the more I realize that most of the successful distributors, you hear them when they're telling their stories. I get to probably hear more stories than a lot of you because of the, I don't know, they changed the name, the Top Global 300 group or whatever. We always get to hear stories on our monthly calls. And the vast majority of the stories are always, I told her I didn't want to do the business, but I needed to feel better. I needed to get on the products. And now they're making, $100,000 a year or more with the Isogenics. But I mean, that's like almost every story starts with, I didn't want anything to do with the business, but I knew I needed the products. And I saw what Mary looked like, before and after. And I just wanted it. And I said, give me some of that stuff. And it made me feel so good. I had to share it with other people. This really does seem to be a business where the masses of the successful distributors were customer-oriented people only. There's a few that have multi-level background, that sort of thing. Well, very, very good. Debbie, I wanted to ask you as well, but we're right at that point in time where we got to roll. Glad you're here. Let's do this again next week, or at least for part of our time. Thank you all for for those of you that spoke up. Okay, Roger and Ernest, appreciate that. And everybody's contribution. This is kind of what I like. Okay, sure, it's it's great for me to bring something to you for the session, but honestly, this to me is the most valuable part. A place for us to share something good that happened, to get the kudos from our peers, and for each one of us to be able to pick up a little tidbit here and there and take that forward. And Roger, kudos to you, man. Do something every day. We'll look forward to hearing what you got to say next week.
Sounds good.
6 o'clock. I'm out of here, you guys. Have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Fred. Have a blessed week. Thank you.
All right,
night.
we'll see you. Yes,
Thank
have a
you.
blessed week. I appreciate that.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks,
Good
Kate.
night.
Brian.
Good night,
Appreciate
guys.
Good
it.
night.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Hey, everybody.
Good night.